Hi guys, welcome back. I hope you've had a good week. Mine's been not crazy, but just kind of weird. It's been another one of those weeks that I just am so happy to see Friday afternoon get here. So here we are Saturday morning and I'm very happy to be here. I got a good day again today. Last week was good. We celebrated my dad's birthday and that was a lot of fun. I will maybe add some pictures at the end of this to show you a little bit about what we did. My mom and dad are moving to Lakeland next month. And so for my dad's birthday, we gave him a moving to Central Florida starter kit with some, things that he'll need to be an older gentleman in Central Florida. So he loved it. It was fun. And I'll put some pictures at the end and let you kind of see what we were seeing, what we did. It was a lot of fun. It's always good to be with my family. And so that kind of boosted me for the next week and we've gotten through it. So today, later today, we're going to go have some dinner with some friends and just kind of relax and enjoy ourselves. And in the meantime, I've got to work on a baby quilt. So that's what I'm doing as soon as I'm done here. So, yeah. And I might even try to quilt it myself. I'm not sure. That's a big step, but I may try. So anyway, I've got to at least get it pieced together today. So it's small, so it shouldn't take me long. I just have to make myself sit down and do it. I want to do it, but it's kind of one of those things when you want to do it, but you're not sure you're going to do it well. So you kind of put it off, Like you notice the ceiling fans need to be cleaned, or, the bathtub needs to be rinsed out, or whatever. There's some lint in your belly button. I don't know. Anything but doing what you need to do because you're not sure of it. So, but you know what? I mean, I've been watching the Olympics this week and last week, and I love the stories. I love watching people do what they do because it amazes me, and I couldn't come close to doing those things. But I love the stories behind the people. Some of those folks have just gone through so much to get there and just so much in their lives. And it's amazing to me that they just keep on keeping on. So when I have little things like, I'm afraid to make this baby blanket, I think about some of those folks, like what would happen if they were afraid and they just didn't do it. And, they have real fears like breaking limbs and things like that when they're snowboarding or ice skating and somebody's flinging them up in the air, nobody's going to get hurt with the baby blanket. Worst case scenario, I grab a seam ripper and take something apart. So I kind of need to get over myself with that and just do it. So that's going to be my day today. And depending on how that goes, I may show you a picture next week. Let you see what that looks like. So one of the things that, as I was running around last week, going to some stores, right in front of a Publix, which I thought was really unfair because you have to walk right by the door, were a group of Girl Scouts selling temptation in a box. Sin in a box. So I did limit myself to one. And, as I was, I actually took one sleeve with me to Crestview and left it there. I did eat one whole sleeve on the way to Crestview. And I got to looking at the box and I thought, they have the nutrition facts on there and everything. 8 servings in a container, 4 cookies in a serving. Like 4 cookies? Who only eats 4 Thin Mints? Who does that? And I thought, if they really wanted to be accurate and authentic, what they would say is, by the time you have eaten this box later today, after you open it, you will have consumed 1,260 calories and 56 grams of fat and 168 carbs. That would be honest, wouldn't it? 1,260 or 1,280 calories for the box. I mean, that's a day's worth of calories, That's about right. Anyway, I don't know if you have a weakness for Girl Scout cookies, but there you go. There's mine. So, all right. This week, for our little dose of grace this week, I want to just talk about situations that we can't fix, things we can't fix. I am a social worker for home health, so I see patients all the time, all kind of different situations. And some of them, you can go in and you can make a difference right away and do something that's helpful, and other ones you can't. A few months ago, well, it was actually, I don't know, in the fall of last year, I guess, I had a little patient, sweet little lady, lived alone and did not need to, and I had talked to her over and over about maybe going to assisted living or something. She never wanted to do it. And then one day she decided she was ready to go to a nursing home. I thought, wow, okay. So she told me which one she wanted. We got her in there, and the day she moved, I went over and helped her get ready for transport and borrowed Jeff's truck and hauled her lift chair and some other things over there for her. I was about an hour and a half behind her. And she was happy and everything when she left and headed over there. And by the time I got there, she was angry and she was frustrated. And she said, this was a big mistake. I never should have come here. I need to go home. And I sat with her for a long time trying to talk to her and, remind her about why she wanted to come, and just tried to talk to her about, giving herself time to adjust a little bit. And the last thing she said to me was, don't try to comfort me. You can't comfort me. Nothing can comfort me. And she literally turned over in bed and turned her back to me. And that's the last thing she said. And I had to leave her there. It was a long trip home. It was about an hour and a half, 2 hours home. And the whole way home, I was thinking, I'm a terrible social worker and a miserable human being for doing that to her. I'm terrible. There's no excuse. If I was a good social worker, I would have left her there happy, and I would have found a way to fix it. And I went over and over and just was making myself crazy. And then I just had to pray, and I just prayed for her, that God would take care of her, and that he would just give me a way to try to let go of that, because I was miserable and I felt terrible. I felt like a failure. And a little at a time, he just kind of helped me to let go of that a bit. And I had a thought, I'm sure from God, that I was not called in that situation to take care of her forever, and to even take care of her once I got her there. My job was to take care of her when she was living alone, or try to help her, and then to help her get where she needed to be. And that's what I was responsible for. that I could feel badly that she was not happy. And I did, and I do, and I could pray for her, but it was not my job to take on the responsibility of that once I had done my part of that. And then I was reading again in an awesome book, The Ministry of Ordinary Places. If y'all have not read this, you need to. It is amazing. Look at all the tabs. You know how I am about flags in my books. I mean, I have highlighted all through this book, but all those little flags are things that I want to remember. And in the introduction to this book, as I was reading it, probably the next week, I think I had started reading this book, I came across this this page, and I have highlighted and underlined and flagged and even written a note in here. She was talking about the change that her family made from living in the Midwest to moving to an inner city place. And that's where their ministry is. And they don't have a church ministry per se, but they are doing ministry in their everyday lives. And it's a great book. All the things that she's learned, things that we tend to do and we do them wrong, and it'll just kind of help you think differently about how we minister to people in just ordinary ways. But this is what she says. Our purpose, well, let me back up a little bit. As Christ followers, we are called to be long-haul neighbors, committed to authenticity and willing to take some risks. Our vocation is to invest deeply in the lives of those around us, devoted to one another, physically close to each other as we breathe the same air and walk the same blocks. Our purpose is not so mysterious after all. We get to love and be deeply loved right where we're planted, by whomever happens to be near. Now here's the part that I've underlined and starred and all of that. We will inevitably encounter brokenness we cannot fix, solve, or understand, and will feel as small, uncertain, and outpaced as we have ever felt. But we'll find our very lives in this calling, to be among people as Jesus was, and it will change everything. The details will look quiet and ordinary. They will exhaust and exhilarate us, but it will be the most worth it adventure we will ever take. And I read that passage over and over and over again. We will inevitably counter brokenness we cannot fix, solve, or understand. And then I wrote my own note at the bottom of that page, and it says, part of trusting God is leaving him with the mess we can't fix. Because that's really what I was thinking. It's like, how am I supposed to leave her there and not take care of her? And, God was just like, it's not your job to take care of her anymore. Don't take on something that's not your responsibility and what you're not supposed to be doing, because if you're doing that, then you're preoccupied and too busy to do what comes next and what I have for you next. So do what I have put you there to do. Leave it, trust me with it and with that person, and move on to the next thing. I don't know if that's helpful to you or not. I don't know if there are things in your life right now where you feel like, I haven't fixed this. I'm leaving a mess. I've done my best. I've tried. I don't know what else to do. Maybe there is nothing else for you to do. maybe you've done what you need to do, and it's okay. It's not sinful. It's not lazy or irresponsible to say, I've done what I was here to do, and now it's time for me to go. It's time for me to move on. That's having good boundaries, for one thing, which is important. And I think it's also having a good understanding of what God has asked you to do. You know, you may have a neighbor or a friend that is having surgery or something, and you take some food over there because that's what, you know, that's what they've said they need, and maybe there's something else you need to do, but you don't need to take them to Ray's. You don't need to go over there every day, and I mean, unless they need you, you know. It's like, figure out, talk to them, find out what they need, look at what you're really able to do, and then do that, and then move on. Don't get stuck, kind of like I did for a little bit. I mean, it was fine to feel badly for her, but to feel like it was my job to fix it or to do more, that wasn't, I don't think I had a good understanding of that at all. And then at some point, I think what we might think is noble and self-sacrificing or something, at some point it's just flat out arrogance. I don't have the ability to fix everything. I don't have the ability to change every situation in someone's life. It's not my job to do it. But I don't need to let myself get in a headspace that says I'm bad or I'm negligent because I can't fix something or I didn't fix something, you know? So I think we need to sometimes let ourselves off the hook, give ourselves some grace, and just understand that God has never expected us to fix everything everywhere we go. It's not possible. And even for the people that He puts in our path and gives us the job of helping them in some way, we're not there to fix everything. God's given us abilities, maybe to do something for them, or maybe just the ability and the patience to listen. I'm laughing because my dog's outside and barking his head off to get inside. He's not happy. I don't know if y'all can hear him, but I can. So, but anyway, I hope that helps a little bit, you know. Know yourself. Just ask God to help you understand what your gifts are and what your role is in situations, and then be comfortable enough to say, okay, I think that I've done that, and so I'm going to step out now, and God has somebody else waiting to do the next thing. It's like a relay, you know. It's kind of like the relay races where you hand off the baton to the next runner. It's not your job to keep running. It's your job to hand off the baton and move off the track, you know. So that's my Olympic reference, I guess, for now. Although that's Summer Olympics. But anyway, that's just my little dose of grace for you this week. I hope maybe that's helpful, and you can relate to that somehow in your life and what's going on. And I hope that you remember that over this next week. I've had 2 patients this week that have tried my thinking on this, and I really have to go back and say, you know what, there are just times when you can't, for whatever reason, you can't make things better, and you have to try. You have to leave it in God's hands always, and know that you've done your best, and now it's time to move on. So you have the grace and the permission to do that. Just, you know, keep walking close with God. He'll let you know. He'll direct you. He'll lead your heart, He'll lead your head, and where you need to go. And He does have stuff for us to do, but don't get stuck where you don't belong. That's important. So anyway, have a wonderful week. I hope that you live this next week very aware of God's grace in your life, and that you can just feel it every day. You just splash around in it all the time. Have some Girl Scout cookies if you need them. It is the season, so you don't want to miss that. And I will see you next week, okay? Have a great week. Oh, one thing I wanted to tell you. Lent is coming up, starting in March. And a few years ago, I did some readings for my Sunday school class for Lent. And I was thinking about, I'm updating them a little bit. Some of them are still really relevant. Some of them were very specific to my Sunday school class and the things that were going on at that time. So I'm trying to update those a little bit. But if you're interested, I am going to maybe 1 week at a time offer those readings for you during the season of Lent. So if you would like to get those, I'm just going to deliver those as a document to your email. If you would like to get those, just you can go to my website that's on the, you'll see it on the video, aginggracefully.com. And just put your email address in there, and then right before Lent starts, probably the week, that Monday before Lent starts on Ash Wednesday, I will deliver the first week and then do it like every Monday through the season. If you'd like to have some readings for the time of Lent. And I don't know if you fast during the time of Lent, or if you try to do, some people do fast one way or the other. They may leave off sugar or whatever. And then other people don't fast, but they try to do like every day one little act of kindness. So I'm trying to kind of think about what I want to do, and I'm trying to make a list of some of those things that I could do, and I'll add that too if you want to look at that. So just go, you can go put your address in there, and I will send you that stuff if you want, right before Lent starts, so we can kind of do those readings together if you want to. So I think that's it for real this time. So have a wonderful week. Enjoy your day. It's a beautiful day here. Sun is out. It's a little chilly with the breeze, but the sun is out. It's a pretty day, and we are blessed. So have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Thanks.